Welcome back to Ridgeline High School. Riverhawks win over the Skyview Bobcats tonight in dramatic fashion, 66-56. Joined now by Coach Kyle Day. Does excited even start to describe your feeling right now?
You know, I'm so extremely proud of these kids. Senior nights can be funny, right? Emotions can play on you a little bit. We saw our girls who are really, really good have a real clunker last night, and you never know how senior night plays into that, and the Skyview girls did a great job last night, but our boys just came out focused from the get-go. They were really prepared for that 1-3-1 and did a great job, and they're so good at it with their length and their size, and so to be able to break that down was big for us. I mean, I'm just pumped for our guys, and we're going to be so excited tonight.
You know what, Coach? You got to think. Let's think back a month or two when we faced the 1-3-1 against Layton.
Yeah.
And Layton
21-2
demolished us in that quarter.
21-2.
And when I saw them come out with that 1-3-1 and that same kind of length, my heart dropped just a little, thinking that can we execute now and be able to find those corners? And you did, and guys knocked down shots.
Absolutely, and we worked on it all week. They gave us some problems at Skyview too.
Yeah.
But in the second half, we started to hit some shots, and then they were up against us in that one, so the 1-3-1 really slowed us down and stalled the comeback.
Yeah.
Today, we got out ahead of it, and that was something that was just great. I mean, Caden hit shots all night long. Chase hit shots all night long. But the only way we get those shots is by being strong in the corner with Baker and Salvi and Peyton setting good screens and being a distributor.
Well, Coach, I wanted to ask you, what did you guys talk about at halftime? Because Skyview, they were still leading, even though you guys were in the game. But you outscored them in the second half, 39-21, only 5 points in the third quarter for Skyview. I mean, what did you guys talk about at halftime to get your team rolling defensively?
You know, our foundation is defense, and we knew they were getting into the paint a lot, and they're good. I mean, they're real. I mean, Mason is just such a stud, and he can get in there, and Sam is so hard to deal with, and the big guys are big. And we just said we got to really cut off drives right now, make them jump shooters. We know they can make shots, so we were going to live with that trade-off, and tonight they didn't make a lot of shots, and that helped.
Well, the other question I had for you, and I asked Dave too earlier because I know he played at this level, but like with Caden Cox, the way he came out and shot the rock, I mean, how does that feed off to the rest of your team? I mean, how do the players feed off of their teammates just drilling threes like that?
Yeah, they all love it. I mean, it's a big energy. At this point, it's kind of funny. They almost just expect it from Caden.
You do.
I don't know. He's close to 16 threes on the year now. Our previous record here at Ridgeline was 40, so, you know, he's blown that out of the water. Right? So at this point, they just kind of think it's going up, and they all just start celebrating because they think it's going to happen.
Well, it's funny to me because I've helped coach him since he was in the third grade. And
right.
He was doing this in third and fourth grade. And so Coach Smith and I, we got to the same point you're saying now. When he shoots, you kind of expect it to go in. And when it doesn't, you're like, well, that's weird. Yeah. I think he's shooting somewhere around, he's probably knocking on 55-60% from three-point range.
Yeah, last I checked, it was right around that 50%. And tonight helped him.
Raised it. Yeah, so that's why last I checked it was like 51. He's got to be close to 55. I want to talk also, besides his offensive effort, it was a complete team win here. But I thought that Jackson Baker played very, very good defense on Mason Falsla. And Peyton Knowles was so good on fifth.
Yeah, and you know what? We've relied on them a lot for defensive assignments. On Wednesday, Baker had to guard Mark Huber. Totally different player, but just as tough in some ways. And then tonight he has to guard Mason. And some people might say, well, he had 19 or whatever, but he had to work for every single thing that he got. And I thought Baker did a tremendous job. And, of course, everybody else get jumping over at the right times and helping. You know, and it did help. Mason he only hit the 1-3, I think.
Yep.
And it just, if it's going for him, it's a different game. But I just loved it. I loved our effort.
I thought Peyton Knowles really frustrated Smith.
Sam,
He ended with 8 points in the game. That's half of what he normally gets.
Right.
Credit Peyton for being super smart, understanding what his strengths are, and maybe what some of his weaknesses are, and trying to minimize those and play to his strengths.
Yeah. And Peyton, I mean, we've talked about it all year. Peyton is such a stud defensively, and he did a great job tonight. Last time at Skyview, we put Peyton on Mason, and he did a good job, but Sam went off. So tonight we switched it up a little, and it worked out for us.
Well, Coach, go ahead.
I was just going to say, well, the thing about your defense, even though the Skyview did score at times, you could see the frustration in their plays. Like, they didn't get the same looks that they have been all season.
Right.
Even though maybe sometimes your guys didn't stop them, the frustration was there.
Absolutely. And we track kills. And in the third quarter, we had 3 kills. And our goal is 4 again. So that was huge for us. It changed the whole game for us.
How do you keep this type of energy and momentum for these last 2 games? You want to say, oh, we just got half, or at least a share of the region crowned.
No.
You cannot look past Logan at Logan.
Or Mountain Crest.
Or Mountain Crest to Mountain Crest.
Funny things happen in big games. And, we have no further to look than 60 got beat by 21 last night. Our girls getting beat last night. There are all sorts of examples. Yeah. We just have to be focused and come in and work on Monday.
I've been involved in too many region games as a broadcaster and as a player that something is suspected to be happening. And when you go into these types of rivalries, crazy things happen.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we're not going to keep you because I'm not sure anybody can hear anybody.
Yeah.
But congratulations, excellent victory.
Thank you.
Keep the momentum going.
Thank you.
That's Coach Kyle Day, his team winning 66-56 over Skyview. Can't say enough about Coach Day and his staff right now. The kids are buying in, and the energy is phenomenal right now.
And, obviously unofficial, but I only had Ridgeline with 5 turnovers. And as good as Skyview is with their length, to only have 5 turnovers, that's why plus their defense, but that's why you've got a 10-point victory.
Right.
They took care of the basketball.
Absolutely. Well, John, I'm not sure there's much more that can be said about this game. I'm going to tell you what I saw in Skyview in the first 2 games, and then you say what you felt in Ridgeline. Skyview is still, in my mind, the team to beat in the state championship. This could fuel them to make them realize that they're not unbeatable, but they have length that nobody else can play with, unless Ridgeline does what they did tonight. I think Ridgeline played about as well as they can play.
Yeah, well, I know that Skyview, they'll rebound from this. They've got a great coaching staff. I just think that what you saw tonight, the defense, and I think you can't overemphasize, they frustrated Skyview because we saw in the first half, Caden Penrose was knocking down 3. Caden Mills knocked down a big shot. But Ridgeline did a terrific job of just kind of forming that wall. Mm-hmm. And I think, if anything, it frustrated Skyview. Like Phipps, Schumann, Balsloff, I just felt like they got out of their rhythm because they got frustrated.
Just don't let anything be easy. And I think Ridgeline did an excellent job making things just difficult. Nothing came too easy.
Even on the dunk attempt by Phipps and Balsloff, they didn't let it happen. They went up and attempted to block a shot.
Yep.
Nothing easy.
Ridgeline did a very, very good job tonight, showing what type of moxie they have. This Caden Cox is a phenomenal player. Knowles is a phenomenal player, but you've got some senior leadership happening on senior night tonight, with Jackson Baker doing an excellent job on Falslip, with Jacob Salveson being long and doing what he does so well, and Kyler Hansen coming in and giving him some good minutes. Smolin came in and had a bucket in a big time, and then and I want to mention one more thing. Bruce McConkey is one of the best teammates I've witnessed anytime. The kid is always the first up on the bench. He's always the one cheering. You watch the sophomore in the JV game, you hear Bruce McConkey cheering on those younger kids. Mm-hmm. There's something to that, John. There's something to those guys that even though he's not getting minutes, he's in this team. He's on this team as much as anybody in what he brings from a just a support personality standpoint. You got to credit these 5 seniors.
Yeah, a perfect job by Ridgeline, and like Coach Day say, and you talked to him about it, and Coach Hilliard will say the same thing. They're not done. Skyview's not done. Ridgeline's not done. Not just with region. These 2 teams are going to make some noise in state. Out of Region 11, these are the 2 teams that are going to be the ones. They've rolled them to the top.
Yep.
These are the teams that are going to make some noise at state, at Weber State. So, they've got 2 big games. Skyview, they're back home for their last 2. You guys are on the road.
On the road, yep. So good, best of luck to both these two teams. For our Skyview listeners, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and for our Ridgeline faithful, we hope you enjoyed it as well.
We'll be back on the air on the Fan Wednesday night versus Greens Canyon. And then
I'm off the call for the next two games, so you're going to want to make sure you can still come right here to 104.5 The Ranch and catch both those games. You'll probably get Al Lewis calling it on the Logan broadcast, and then our Mountain Crest crew
is AJ Knight and Tyler Ball.
They'll be calling that one out at Mountain Crest, so I'll be in the crowd with everyone else those 2 evenings, but you can still listen to it right here where you are now, or stream it on CashValleyDaily.com. For John Newbold, we sincerely appreciate you stepping up,
man.
No
problem.
Really, really appreciate you. And for Jerem Drollinger back at the station, we also appreciate Coach Kyle Day making the time to come up for an interview with us. Win or lose, he's been great to come up. I'm Dave Simmons, everyone. Tonight, the victory goes to Ridgeline over Skyview, 66-56. Good night, everyone.